you don't know me, my name is Jeffrey Stubbings. And usually the only time I'm up here is if we're getting ready to have a dinner and I need some help in the kitchen. But I just want to share briefly, because I really could go on. If I go on too long, just throw something, because I take it well. I would love to say I came here gung-ho, ready to love Christ, but I'd be lying. I'd like to say that I followed Jesus throughout my whole life and had faith that made me a good person. But I'd be lying. I have a personality that, to put it mildly, is extreme. And I didn't really know. I thought it was a mistake. But I am living proof that God has a sense of humor. Because God indeed does not make mistakes. It makes us all exactly the way we're supposed to be. There was a time I didn't believe God's hand was reaching out to help me. And it was actually my hand that was not reached out to him. I have an allergy. I'm going to use it, Pastor.
I love it.
I'm allergic to alcohol. When I drink, I break out in handcuffs. And not only am I a downright menace when I drink, I have little things in my brain that makes me kind of spastic and unpredictable, even when I don't drink. And the drinking just gives me an excuse not to do the right thing, which is often still indeed a task. I witnessed this church being built because I grew up a mile down the road, and on the corner of Landing and Fountain Hill Road with Ray and Dorothy Stubbings. And I would like to say that, oh yeah, when that church gets built, maybe we'll become members there. Nope, at the time I was living in Springwater. I had prayed, but I think I had prayed for the wrong things. I prayed for financial wealth, automobiles, property, and what I thought to be what I needed to be healthy and spiritual and happy. And I indeed was wrong, because sometimes you got to look out what you pray for, because God will most often give you what you pray for. Not always, but sometimes he kind of knows, he really knows, kind of doesn't go with God, of what I thought I needed. I had property in Springwater. I was married with 2 vehicles in an extremely large home. And in the middle of it all, I was very depressed. I was in a marriage I didn't know how to deal with. And I, again, suffer from a disease called alcoholism. And so if I was happy, I drank because I was happy. And everyone deserved to see me being happy. And when I was depressed and didn't feel like seeing another tomorrow, I drank. When I was angry, I fueled my anger and justified my anger through drinking. And took it to many. I've gone through probably 4 rehabs. Five rehabs, because I did one when I was a teenager. I quit drinking first when I was 21 without a program of recovery, which is important in recovery, because after you get the alcohol out of you, you got to realize there's more mending to be done. And my final rehab, I had 3 DWIs in a year, 4 DWIs prior, vandalisms, robberies. As I say, I'd like to say I was just a good kid, but I would be lying. I was a menace to this area. And I honestly didn't like people too much, and especially the people who lived in Mendon, because I didn't feel like I was accepted here. I was off the wall. I wasn't coordinated to be a jockey. I wasn't smart enough to be brainy. And so the only time I was accepted is when I decided to have the parties and share what I thought was what I had to offer. At the end, to prove my alcoholism and how my alcoholism wants me dead. but it will settle to have me drunk. And you think that normal situations that happen, DWIs, incarcerations, fines, hurting the family members, watching my mom cry, watching my dad be disappointed. You think that'd be enough to make a normal person stop doing what they're doing. But when you suffer from an addiction, it does indeed blind you. And so at the last DWI I got, I did think it was the end and decided to end it. And in not so graphic detail, let's just say it was, I did something that I wasn't supposed to survive. But something, it was God, made me want to live more than I wanted to die. And I'd like to say it's the end, and all right, this thing just got good from there. Nope. I got sentenced finally to 9 months of work release, and I showed up to work release drunk. And that's when they really got mad at me and gave me an incarceration of 6 months. And I'd like to say, oh, God, jail, terrible. Oh, I'd never go there. Well, that's where God wanted me to be. It was the only where I was safe. And it's the only place that everyone else was safe from. Because I was unpredictable and I didn't honestly know what I was going to do. If I have a cream soda, I can tell you that I'm going to sit on the couch, have a cream soda, love my kitty cats and hang out. If I have a beer, I've got no idea. It's probably going to turn out horrible. And in the middle of my incarceration, they started having jail service and AA service. So I started going, not because I wanted to, but just to get out of my cell block. And before I knew it, something was registering. Something was starting to have meaning in my heart. And before you know it, I was starting to get it. God didn't make a mistake. He wanted me to go through certain things so I could share it. And so with nothing left, I got out of jail and moved back in with Mom and Dad. And by then the church was completely constructed and had been here about a year. And on my bicycle, I went down here one day to see what you guys had to offer. And again, I didn't come in here, hi. I went up here with my fist in the air because I was ready to fight the first one at who's going to judge long hair. Yeah, it was Gordy. It was Bob Moore. It was Ann Wood and her deceased husband. It was Rose that greeted me with a hug, not a frown. And I love to say things are perfect. But with God, things don't need to be perfect. If there's a bigger plan that I don't have to see, but I know that God didn't make a mistake, and I know He loves me. And time and time again, I have a back of my mom's car filled with to-go bowls because people are bringing us food. They bring us things because this church family knows that we're in need. And for me not to give back to this wonderful place, there wasn't nothing I wouldn't have done to scrounge enough money to get a drink. And for me not to flip that entirely to the other side would almost be disrespectful of me. So, church family, I'm so glad that you accept me here and have taken my abilities that I do have and put them to work. And even though things aren't as peachy as I want them to be, this is the way God wants it to be today. And for that, church family, I thank you all.